Covers the Rockets for ESPN 97.5 in Houston. And in the end, David, why did Dwight choose the Rockets?
Well, I'm guessing it truly is his best chance to win a championship sooner rather than later. I mean, look at the other two teams that were serious contenders, the Mavericks and the Lakers. Their stars, their current stars, are descending, frankly. The team is descending. The Rockets are ascending. Their best player is ascending. James Harden is not near the peak of his career. He's still a young player. You know, Kobe Bryant, for all that he's accomplished, Dirk Nowitzki, a championship player as well. But those guys are at the tail end. James Harden is just getting started. And the Rockets as an organization, this is a pretty young roster that Dwight can grow with. And, hey, the Rockets made the playoffs last year. The other teams didn't.
How do you think Harden and Howard will work together?
I think it's, Harden is a terrific pick, and everybody knows James Harden's a terrific pick and roll player. To me, this is the question: how is Dwight Howard going to, be in that constant pick and roll situation with James Harden? So that's question number one. Question number two: it should free things up not just for James Harden, but other shooters like Chandler Parsons, the perimeter guys, because obviously, the teams are going to have to collapse in on Dwight Howard. And thirdly, I think what it does for them in the playoffs, they rely so much on transition baskets, or at least fast break baskets and three-point shots. They can now dump it down to a guy in the fourth quarter for a bucket, for a higher percentage shot, not just in the playoffs, but throughout the season. But I just think that was really exposed in the playoffs. They didn't have a guy they could dump it down to for a high percentage shot in crucial moments in the game.
Where would you rank this move in Rockets franchise history?
It's one of the most significant days in Rockets franchise history. I mean, it's obviously not the most significant. Being able to draft Hakeem Olajuwon obviously ranks big. The sign-and trade that brought Scottie Pippen, the trade that brought Charles Barkley. But, off the top of my head, it's probably one of the 10 biggest days in Rockets history in terms of player transactions. They acquired Tracy McGrady in a trade. It's certainly the biggest free agent signing since Scottie Pippen, although technically that was a sign and trade. They haven't had a free agent signing like this, at least off the top of my head, that I recall in quite some time, which, by the way, the late 90s was the last time they were legitimate championship contenders and got to the conference finals. Rockets haven't gotten that close since 97, the 96-97 season. But now, obviously, if you're going to talk about the Western Conference contenders, they're in the conversation along with Oklahoma City and whoever else you might want to throw in there.
All right, that's David Dilotti, who covers the Rockets for ESPN 97.